Hey guys, I'm Kaylee Sanders and this is Crafting with Purpose. Today's video and the next video, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to hand letter. Hey guys! Okay, so in this tutorial, I'm going to talk about my favorite pens that I like to use, some letter techniques that I like to use, and some projects that I do. So without further ado, let's get started. So my top 3 favorite pens that I use most often and I love to make are the Crayola pens. And these are like the thick markers, not the skinny ones, the thick markers, and I use them all the time. Like, really easy to get. And so that's my first one that I like to use. My second is this watercolor dull tip one, which gives very cool effects to when you're lettering. And this dull brush one is very bright colors, and I love to use these because there's like 96 colors in pens. Those are all the pens that I like to use, and sometimes I use them, just one of them, or I use all of them in a variety. So now I'm going to show you a little bit about my lettering. I'm going to start off with my Crayola pens, and I'm just going to write. So whenever you're downstrokes, you always press a little harder. So I'm going to do Crayola. When I press harder, it makes that line a little thicker, which gives you that good look. And you don't need to do this in one swift motion. You can do it kind of piece by piece. So now I'm using these watercolor tips. And this is double-sided, so it has this point, which is more not as flexible as this one, which is more like a brush. So when I'm lettering, I tend to use this one. So let's say I do this, and I'll do lettering. And again, I press down in the downstroke. So now I'm going to use the last brush that we talked about, the dull brush pens. And this, again, is double-sided, so that side that's more not as flexible as the other side. So I'll do artist for this one. And again, I'm pushing down on it in the downstroke. So out of all of these, I think my favorite is these dull brush pens. It gives like a nice look. They have really nice colors. But that's the pens that I like to use, and I want to show you some of my other projects that I like to do. So some things that I like to do is these are actually the dual markers, and then this is the other ones, the watercolor ones. And I kind of mix them together using different fonts. And then I do the same thing with this, but this is just the watercolor markers. So those are some projects that I like to do. I like to do a lot of quotes and kind of stuff like that. So I'm going to show you one of my favorite quotes, and I'm going to kind of show you some like lettering techniques that I like to use and some different fonts that I use. So when I'm doing quotes, I usually write it down on a separate piece of paper and write down my quote. I make sure all the letters are spelled correctly and words are spelled correctly, just to make sure I know how I'm doing it. So my quote that I chose to do is by John Muir, and it's "Keep close to nature's heart." So I have my next piece of paper, and I'm going to be using the watercolor dull tip markers. So without further ado, I'm going to show you. So I'm going to be using these colors, and let's get started. Just remember, when doing calligraphy, always push down a little harder on those downstrokes. So using my markers that I used, this dark blue and this gray, I did a quote, "Keep close to nature's heart." So using the gray, I did "keep close to" on the top using my lettering, and a little heart at the bottom. With my blue, I did nature's heart. And of course, with gray, I did my signature. So when you're a starter to calligraphy, you kind of want to do, like, you might want to practice. So I consider using the letters H and L. You can practice on those letters. You can practice downstrokes and upstrokes, so the thick lines and the thinner lines. And also, if you're really getting into it, I consider you buying the kids' book of hand lettering. I'm actually featured in this book. My pretty hands. So it talks about how like all the motions, like where you need to go thicker, which is usually when you're going down. And it talks about like getting some warm-ups, like some shapes that you need to do sometimes, just to get kind of going into calligraphy. And very cool. So thank you for watching, and that's it for today.